Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Spencer Fearon had some very, very harsh things to say about Stan Dubois, Daniel Dubois' father. He said on a Boxing Social interview, he called him a scumbag and a fraud, and he's basically saying that the guy's an entire charlatan, he's a bad person, and that he's essentially ripping off his son. Okay. Now, he also said that Stan Dubois, as he put it, shitted was the word he used, or tried to, on Tunde Ajayi, who was great friends with Spencer Fearon. He also shouted out to Shane McGuigan, saying that Shane McGuigan stood on principle, because if you remember, Shane McGuigan used to train Daniel, or briefly, he still trains Caroline Dubois. And Spencer didn't go into that whole thing too deeply, but nevertheless, you had to read between the lines, but you can tell that I don't know what's gone on between Spencer and Stan Dubois, but I've never heard Spencer speak ill of someone like this to that degree. Now, as a little aside, just bear with me a second. Spencer and I used to be on the same Facebook. We used to be like Facebook friends or whatever. This is about 10 fucking years ago. And I made some criticisms of Islam because I'm an atheist. I don't have anything specifically against Islam. I think it's all fairy tale nonsense. The three big Judeo-Christian religions, they mean nothing to me. It's just, if people want to follow them, that's fine. And I understand the power that it can give someone, but I just don't think any of it's true. And I made some remarks because I had read the Quran just as I read the Bible, and Spencer didn't like it and said, remove yourself from my page, which I probably did. And then later on, I can't remember exactly the context, but I left Spencer was being interviewed, and I left a comment saying Spencer kicked me off, asked me to remove him from my Facebook page, and Spencer left a message saying, add me again. I don't even know the guy, really. Just through Facebook, we used to know each other many, many years ago, at least 8 years ago. I exchanged a few pleasantries with him, but that's as far as it goes. I absolutely have no inside information about what Spencer is talking about with regard to either Stan Dubois or what's gone on with Shane McGuigan and Caroline. I mean, that's Spencer. But my point is that Spencer can be a prickly character if you rub him up the wrong way. He sort of goes on about spreading a lot of love and being positive and all this sort of stuff. But if you rub him up the wrong way, he can turn kind of a bit vitriolic, and he certainly has with Stan Dubois. And he also said that Don Charles, Stan Dubois wanted Don Charles kicked off the team after the Usyk defeat. And as Spencer put it, I begged the team begged the father to let Don Charles stay. And he also made the remark that, and this bears thinking about, I think, that you never really hear Daniel talk glowingly of Don Charles. He mentioned his father. Now, on the other hand, the flip side of that is that Daniel isn't really a speaker. He doesn't really talk much. He doesn't really feel the need to explain anything. He doesn't seem to like talking much. So perhaps he's just not bothered about bigging up his team, members of his team. But normally fighters will go into that area and say, I'd like to thank so and so, and my the cat, the dog, the budgie, and all that sort of thing. And they will mention names. Daniel doesn't really do that. Now, Spencer, I don't know if Spencer knows Stan Dubois as well as he knows Don Charles. I know he knows Don Charles well. I don't know what's gone on between them. But for him to come out and make those extremely disparaging remarks is definitely food for thought. And I wonder what's gone on here. I find it very intriguing before such a major fight. I mean, what are we like? Just over 48 hours away from the fight, and this sort of shit's going down. It's very, very curious. A very curious turn of events. Now, I've heard people say, "Oh, it's all a stitch up. It's all a set up. It's all this and that." I don't know. I doubt it, but no, I don't think Joshua will pay any attention to this. I don't think Ben Davison will let him pay any attention to this little soap opera that's going on the sidelines. But I do think that if it is true, it can't be good for Dubois. Surely not. I said in a previous video that I felt that the work has already been done, so maybe it won't have any relevancy. But at the same time, it must be distracting for Dubois, must it not? Now, Spencer did say that he thinks Don Charles will be in the corner, and if Don has done all that work with Daniel, he should be in the corner because he should get paid. He should, at the very least, he should get paid. But I don't know. We've heard about this before, with fathers getting involved in their sons' and also daughters' careers, and basically fucking everything up. And when you're teaching someone, I always remember my grandfather. My grandfather was a master carpenter, and when I was a kid, I was 11 or something like that. I said to him, "Can you teach me how to be a carpenter?" He said, "No." I said, "Why not? Why not?" He said, "You need someone who doesn't know you to teach you." Because, apart from the fact that my granddad he didn't stand on ceremony, and if I was making crap, he'd tell me I was making crap. He probably didn't want to go there. He probably didn't want to cross-pollinate that sort of, grandson, grandfather, teacher, pupil. Those two concepts are different things. Never the twain shall meet. That seemed to be his attitude. And also, there are other aspects in life that, like, for example, if you've ever gone to counselling, why do you go to a complete stranger and talk about your most intimate secrets rather than a loved one or a relative or something? Well, some people do go to loved ones. Some people do talk to their parents or whatever. But some people, they can't do that. So what do? They go to a total stranger. And in many respects, it's better because you think, this person doesn't know me. So in a sense, I've got hold of the reins. I've got control of what's going on. I can say exactly what I think and reveal bit at a time at my own pace without them making prejudgments about me. Your parents can't do that because they've known you all your life. You know what I mean? And maybe it's the same with boxing and boxing trainers. Maybe to have a parent as a trainer. And I know there have been some success stories as well. Joe Calzaghe, Enzo Calzaghe, and Porters, and Danny Garcia and his dad. But very often it's better if you have someone who doesn't know you, who isn't going to make those prejudgments about you, and who is just going to be able to be completely objective about you. And maybe in that sense, it is better that you have someone in the corner who has that purely objective. Yes, you're their pupil, but they have a purely objective attitude towards what they're seeing. Yes, you're their pupil, so they're going to say, you did well here, you did bad there. If it's your son or daughter, you're going to be saying, well, dare I say this? I don't want to hurt their feelings. Will it impact on our father-son relationship or whatever? You know what I mean? So, I don't know. This is all very strange. This is a very odd turn of events during the lead up to this fight. But I don't know. I suppose it adds to the drama, doesn't it? In a sense, I hope it doesn't impact on Dubois' performance, because on Saturday night, I want to see Joshua and Dubois giving absolute maximum effort, but I want to see them maximising their talents so that the winner can stand and say, yeah, I am legitimate winner. I don't want to hear no excuses. I don't want to see somebody under par for whatever reason, for this reason or another reason or whatever. I don't want anyone going in there with injuries. And there was a rumour that was there a rumour that Dubois had hurt his hand as well? Is that the latest bit of drama? I don't know. From Joshua's point of view, he needs to forget about this little sideline drama and just concentrate on what he's doing. But I think he will. I think Ben Davidson's savvy enough to make sure he keeps the focus on Joshua's focus on, eyes on the prize, as they say. But anyway, all very intriguing, isn't it? All very curious, all very secret squirrel, very Sherlock Holmes, elementary, my dear Watson. What do you think? Comments below, as usual. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing, do all that good stuff that I always talk about at the end of every single video. It makes sense. It's free. It's free. And as the religious people like myself say, there's a special place in heaven for you if you do that. Fucking subscribe and hit the like button. Go on.